Hello to the one over there. I'm Sjctnc-Joypearlinlucia from the PG and Research Department of English, St.Joseph College of Arts and Science, Autonomous Cuddalore. So in this video, we are going to discuss about one of the most prominent play, the Cenci, written by the prominent author P.B. Shelley. We are going to discuss about the characters, the plot line, and the themes, and also the critical analysis of the play. So before concluding this video, let us come to know that though this play was written in 1819, we can see the concepts, the themes, and the reflections and observations that P.B. Shelley made on this play is how much still relevant and prevailing in the contemporary 21st century. Before getting into the play, let us have a short glimpse and the prominence of P.B. Shelley. So this man, P.B. Shelley, originally called Percy Bysshe Shelley, was born on 4th August 1792 and died on 8th July 1822. So he is one of the most prominent and an astonishing British writer who tops the list of major English romantic poets. Though this man's penning or many, among his penning the most best known works are Ozymandias, Ode to the West Wind, To a Skylark, Adonis, and one of the most important philosophical essay, The Necessitism of Atheism, which he actually co-authored with his best friend T.J. Oak, and finally the political ballad, The Mask of Anarchy. So one of the most important fact that we can know about this man is he actually considered himself as an atheist because he believed that the existence of God is absolutely absent in this dystopian and the most cruelistic world that we are living in. So accordingly, when Shelley entered on Oxford University in the year 1810, he was expelled for 6 months later for writing a pamphlet attacking the religion, which actually acts as a strengthening identity himself as an atheist. So when it's come to appreciation, this man was appreciated by the American literary critic Harold Bloom as a superb craftsman, a lyric poet without a rival, and surely one of the most advanced skeptical intellectuals ever to write a poem. So this shows P.B. Shelley as one of the most beautiful and then most important poet who just gives a long lasting effects to his reader through his words and through his ability of being a nightingale to a poetic art. So let us now get into the introduction of the play, The Cenci. So the Cenci, also subtitle called A Tragedy in 5 Acts, which actually tells the concept of the entire story that it is actually a tragedy, which is a verse drama written in 5 acts. So this was written in the year 1819 and finally published by Charles and James Oliver in London. Cenci was actually based on a real life incident that happened in the era of Renaissance Rome. So P.B. Shelley, once he was having a cup of tea with his friend, he actually heard this um, undigestible and most cruelistic and tyrannical event that took place in the real Roman family, the house of Cenci, which he also got the documentary from the history of the Roman peoples. So this one was modeled after the Shakespearean tragedy because this play is also noted for its powerful characters, the evocative language used by P.B. Shelley in order to bring the essence of tragic essence and the bring the essence of terror to its reader and the moral ambiguities. It was also banned for its most important theme of incest and patricide, which actually P.B. Shelley bring in a most effective form through the characters of this play. So the prominence and the most famous and the deafness of this play made this play to be retold and reinterpreted by many upcoming authors after Shelley. So in such a way, one of the most notable retold was given by Arnold Artaud under the same title, The Cenci, as a play, and first performed in the year 1935. Not only in the 20th century, this play still gives an opportunity to be retold and reinterpreted even in the contemporary 21st century because of the themes and because of the concepts, the plot line that was laid up by none other than the most powerful writer, P.B. Shelley. Okay, considering the characters of the play, the voices of the play, or the foremost important character is Count Francisco Cenci, who is actually the head of the Cenci household and the family, who is being portrayed as a notorious father, evilistic beast, and the unruling aristocratic symbol, and the element of patriarchy rule. And the most important character is Beatrice Cenci, who is actually a daughter of the court Francisco Cenci and been the victimization of the sexual harassments, the domestic violence, and the voicelessness of women in the play. And Lucretia, the second wife of Francisco Cenci, and the Cardinal Camillo, who is one of the most important noblemen and the higher authority of the church, and Orsino, a prelate and also an ex-lover of Beatrice, who has become a symbol of unrelenting revenge towards Cenci and his family. Savella, the Pope's legate, Andrea, a servant to Francisco Cenci, and Marcio and Olympia, who are the assassins who have been charged and recruited by Beatrice and Orsino, as well as the ex-servant of Cenci. That's Giacomo, son of Francisco Cenci, and then Bernardo, son of Francisco Cenci from his second wife, Lucretia. So these are all the characters. The most important characters are the Francisco Cenci, Beatrice, Orsino, and Lucretia. Okay, now let us get into the plot line of the play. So the Cenci begins with this man, the church authority, the Cardinal Camillo, was talking and seriously discussing something with the court Cenci, which is about the murder that has been made by Cenci, and also the contagious spread of the news of murder by Cenci all around the country. So this man, Cardinal Camilli, actually advising Cenci to give a third of his possession to the Pope so that it will help the Pope to hide and screen out the murders and all the evilistic desires and the evilistic things, the corruptions and everything that has been done by Cenci as a unruling aristocratic. So this man, Cardinal Camillo, is actually asking Cenci to give some bribe amount to the Pope so that his sin and murder will be hidden from the society. But this man actually rejects all these things and proves himself as a most courageous and a most powerful man who has a strong desire to practice evil and to portray himself as a hellish power in the society, which actually puts Cardinal Camillo into a disappointment, and also it makes him to give up on saving Cenci. So as soon as this man left the place, Cenci actually expanded its desires, suggesting that he actually wants to kill his wife as well as his two sons. Why should he kill his two sons? Because if he kill his two sons, this man Cenci has no need to share all his assets, possessions, and his money and his wealth to anyone in this world. Even after killing his own sons, to whom he should share all these things? He have no one to really share his wealth, so that he will become the king of his world. He will become the wholesome person to utilize and to keep all his assets and all his possession. This shows the lust for money and the lust for power of Cenci. And behind all these things, he is also portrayed as a notorious beast who who has been a symbol of lust, sexual desires, that shows in the way that when he shows his sexual desires by raping her own daughter, by raping his own daughter, betrayed Senshi continuously by imprisoning her into a castle without leaving her anywhere and without letting this news out of the room at any cost. So as the play goes on, as he planned, he got the news that his two sons have been successfully murdered in Spain. So that he actually gives a party to the honor of his guest. He gleefully announces the death of his two sons. This portrays and this represents him as a notorious father who actually consumes the wine by considering it as the blood of his own son. This actually gives a terrific and a gruesome atmosphere to the entire guest. In that sense, Beatrice actually wants her guest to help her, but no one is ready to help her against this most powerful and the dangerous Senshi. So Beatrice, who is left unhelped, actually goes on to Orsino and open up the victimization and the sexual victimization that she undergone to a stepmother Lucretia and asks for their help. Orsino, who has been a ex-lover of Beatrice, who also has the desire to take revenge on Senshi and his family members, accepts to murder the uh, Senshi. So these three people actually planning a plot to murder Senshi without letting this news to the Roman people. So in that way, Beatrice and Orsino are planning to uh, hire assassinators who will help them to murder the Senshi. In that way, while they were searching for assassinators, they actually got the volunteer help of Olimpio and Marzio, who are actually a ex-servant of the Senshi, who are also being a victim of the domestic violence and the suppressions and the oppressions and the elements of slave tortures undergone by them by their evilistic master the Senshi. So as these people planned, they finally murdered the Senshi. So when they murdered the Senshi, this news actually spreaded all over the Roman people, and also it touches the ears of Savella, who is the Pope's official legate. So when he heard the news, he actually imprisoned everyone who are all been the reason of this murder, that is Beatrice, Lucretia, Olympia and Marzio, except this man Orsino, because as soon as this news has been evacuated all over the Rome, this man have wittily escaped from that place by abandoning all these four members under the custody of Savella. So at the beginning, these people actually they need to accept the crime. At the end, they have no other idea other than accepting the crime, in the way that Marzio was first found guilty, um and he actually told Savilla about all other persons, that is Olympia and Lucretia and also Beatrice. But though Olympia and Lucretia also found guilty, Beatrice had never given up her identity as an innocent. She actually tries to keep up her identity as an innocent, uh, as a person who doesn't have any relationship with all these three people, and who is actually a innocent person who have no other connection of this murder. But finally she is also been found guilty, and she has been tried and executed at the end of the play. So we all come to know that why this is called tragedy, because we can see that almost all the entire character of the play had found their death either through their own wrong deeds or as a symbol of innocent or as a symbol of victims. However, most of them have faced the death. So, considering the theme of this play, there are lots of themes that can be interpreted, but some of the themes that I would like to discuss with you people is the first is incest. Incest tells the activity of the sexual harassments or the rapes that has being done in one's own household, where a daughter is being raped by a father, or a man or a son is being sexually harassed by her mother, or a mother by some other person, father by some other person. So when the sexual violence that has being happening in one's own household, it is called incest. In such a way we can see how Beatrice has been continuously raped brutally and being imprisoned by her own father for nearly 21 years. And the another second theme is unruling aristocracy. We can see the elements of unruling aristocracy through the portrayal of the Cenci, as well as the Cardinal Camillo, as well as the church authorities and the Pope Clement VIII here, where we can see how these people uses their power of aristocracy in order to dominate, suppress and oppress the weaker section of the society, where they put them under their control and treating them as a slave and treating them as a voiceless people. That in that way we can see this unruling aristocracy had taken the dominating role in the entire play, when this man Cenci has seen her own daughter as a slave than treating her as a equal to him. So the concept of unruling aristocracy is still prevalent in the contemporary society, where we can see that the concept of aristocracy is still being dominant over the proletariats, the working class people. It's like it's actually very similar to the term called capitalism, where we can see get the slogan of rich become richer and the poor become poorer, where this aristocratic power and the unruling ability and their dominating power is still relevant in the society, which is actually being more increasing day by day. And the social injustice is another theme that I would like to discuss here. We can see the elements of social injustice through the way how Beatrice has been finally executed, despite of shouting out the violence, shouting out the sexual harassments and the struggles that she has been continually going on, that she has been experiencing under the tyranny of her own father, despite of all her shout holes, despite of representing her brother's innocent death. She never got the justice that she desired at the end of the play. She has been the symbol of social injustice, and she was unjustly put to death without any humanity and conscience of the aristocratic people. And the patriarchal power. The concept of patriarchal power is seen throughout the entire play, where we can see whoever it might be, the Cardinal Camillo or the Cenci or even the Orsino, these people actually takes the leading role, which puts the Beatrice as well as Lucria and the late wife of Cenci as a voiceless creature there. The patriarchal power of men actually portrays the women as the weaker section of the society. Actually, they also comes under the voiceless creatures here. One of the important thing we can notice under the concept of patriarchal power is where when the Orsino as well as Beatrice, when these two people actually gave a petition to the Pope, Orsino's petition has been read by Savella, but this women Beatrice's petition has never even considered as a petition, and it actually left unopened. So this shows the importance given to men over the women, and how the patriarchal power as being a leading role in the then contemporary society as well as in the 21st century, where we can see that the patriarchal power and the patriarchal dominance is still prevalent in the certain stages of the society, where the women actually being muted and silenced in the certain stages of life. And so this theme is also still relevant. And the voicelessness and submissive state of women, as I already discussed, that how Cenci has been, Beatrice Cenci has been voicelessly raped, muted, and silenced for an entire lifetime, being a sexual, being an instrument of sexual pleasure. And though when she came out of all the imprisonment, she was finally imprisoned by the society itself, and she was pathetically put to death without any justice given to her. And money as a dominating and an oppressing tool, we can see the concept of money as a dominating and an oppressive tool in our own day-to-day life. Whereas in the play, we can see that at the beginning of the play, where Cardinal Camillo actually asked Cenci to give her hush money in order to screen himself behind screen himself behind all the murders and all the corruptions that he has been doing lately. How he asked Cenci to give one third of his possession to the king in order to portray or represent himself as the good man in the society despite of all the evils that he is doing. So here we can see how the money has the power to groom or to portray any evilistic man or any murders into a right thing, where money plays a major role in proving any wrong into a right thing. That we can see how much relevant it is even in our contemporary society, that money is replacing education, hard work, and success, and the righteousness and even the law. So money is being a dominating and an oppressing tool, which is actually going to lead the entire world. Another important thing that can be noted is moral ambiguities and the psychological corruptions that the people undergo. When it's come to the psychological corruption, I would like to give my suggestion as how the psychological traumas and the sufferings that Beatrice undergone actually transformed innocent and religious women into a more arrogant and revengeful women who has become a subject of patricide at the end of the play. The women or the girl who actually adored a father has become the murder of our own father. So this shows the psychological corruptions that people have undergone, that the characters undergone in the play, which actually made the elements of revenge, violence, and patricide takes the leading role in the concept of the play. So Beatrice, so considering the main character of the play, Beatrice has become a symbol to the people of Rome as a resistance against the arrogant aristocracy, where she continues to fight against, where she continues to unrelentingly voice against all the aristocratic power and the sexual harassments that has being undergone by the weaker section of the society as well as the voiceless women in the Roman Empire. So she has become the voice of women of the victims of domestic violence. In such case, Beatrice's voice is still echoing in the contemporary society, where women are being raped, oppressed, silenced, and muted in many domestic households. Not but not the least, that the trace of P.B. Shelley's ink on the Cenci is still vivid and visible amidst the human society. As how the play ends with Beatrice's words, "We are quite ready, well, it's very well, we can see even now that the weaker section of the society, or the voiceless peoples, the oppressive and the suppressive peoples, have no other way than just simply giving up their life by telling that they are not ready for the justice and they are not ready for the life, but they are only ready for the death, and giving up everything that they have and giving up their own rights in the so-called evilistic society that we are quite ready. Well, it's very well. Thank you.